And we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Hello and welcome, Andy and Jared, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Hey, the Indians had themselves a wonderful extra inning win over on the south side in Chicago to pull within a game of the Twins, and yet that is not the lead story for our tribe. Zach Plesac went out on Saturday night with some friends, and then he was sent back to Cleveland in a car that was rented for him. He didn't fly back on a plane. He went back in a car and had to think about what he had done the whole time.
Oh, my God.
And now he's got to self-quarantine for a couple of days. Then 24 hours later, it's hard for me to even read through this intro, Andy, because I'm so pissed. Anyways, starter Mike Clevinger was also out with Plesac and friends in Chicago. His ass went with the team and didn't say anything and tried to get away with it. I'll stop there for now. I'm going to get loud. I'm going to get angry. What does this mean moving forward for the Indians? We'll discuss that. Also, Andy's favorite baseball rivalry, the Ohio Cup.
Stay here, baby.
Stays in Cleveland.
Staying here, baby.
I got to be honest. I kind of buy in a little bit. I'm buying in.
See, you're a believer.
There's a bit of a Reds, and part of it is because I got a buddy who's a Reds fan, and he was trying to get digs on me, and, well, we all saw how that worked out. So the Indians keep the cup. They win the series with the Red Sox. Reyes got himself a clutch hit, a couple of clutch hits last week. Charlie Sheen is on the Karinchak bandwagon. And any reason to be concerned about the second-place Tigers? I don't know. Baker Mayfield getting a lot of positive chatter in the preseason. That doesn't mean shit to me, but we'll talk about it. And announces his return on Instagram. Plus, Landry's off the PUP list. No Billings. He opted out in 2020. And Chubb worked out with Kareem Hunt over the offseason and is excited about what is ahead for the duo. Yeah, he did have some nice words there. But yes, first, big news in the Big Ten announced today officially, this being Tuesday, the 11th. The Big Ten, no fall football in 2020. Holy shit, Andy. We knew it was coming. I mean, at least I did. Here we are.
Roller coaster experience. Hi, everybody. There is a lot of news that happens.
Yeah, not a slow news day whatsoever.
No, 72 hours of craziness.
Kamala Harris is the VP pick for Biden, too. That came out now, too.
A lot of announcements. And for those of you who watch Stock Market like I do, what a wild day for tech stocks. So it's been an exciting day.
Did not look at that today.
No, it went down today. It was not a good day for me on the stock market. That's okay. Better days ahead, too, there. All right, let's start off with this Big Ten. As people who are maybe new to this show, I love, obviously, all three teams. My favorite sport is college football. Even though I was born in Cleveland, I grew up a majority of my latter years in Columbus. Even though I'm not an Ohio State fan by the Purdue flag behind me, I am a huge college football fan. This was not an easy decision today that went down for the Big Ten. And the Pac-12 followed up at 4:30 today as well. So the Big Ten, Pac-12 out. I agree with the Big Ten. I would have done the same thing. I will also say I don't think there's a right or wrong in this because I know people are very passionate about it. I saw it 72 hours since Sunday night. There are players. There are coaches. There is a polarizing topic. I still think this is the right thing to do. But I understand because this is an emotional decision and a very passionate one. They did what's best for health and safety. I think that's what's important. There's a huge economic hit here. And more importantly to a lot, and myself included, the passion and the religious vibe that this sport gives to people countrywide is going to be felt with that not being on Saturdays. This was the hardest decision I've seen from a sports perspective yet in COVID-19. This is very hard. I thought Gene Smith said it right today. He was on the Big Ten Network, quote, "I am sorry to all of our fans, but this is what we had to do." And I give Gene Smith credit. I thought Jeff Brom today was wonderful. This is a hard decision. I get why if people are upset about not playing football. I get it. I don't think I thought the right decision was made today, but I get it. This is a passionate discussion. It's a huge economic hit. But even with that said, I think the safety and not playing and trying to do this in the spring is the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, with some of the news of some of these young folks that when they walk away with COVID and even if they're not necessarily showing or presenting with a lot of those difficult breathing issues that have popped up. What we're also finding with some of the young folks is that they're getting enlarged hearts too. And, the numbers that go along with, and I don't remember the medical term for that enlargement of the heart, but I do know that when some of those sudden cardiac arrests, those sudden deaths happen on the field or on the court with these young folks, 9%, 10% of the time, that's actually the cause. So you're raising the risk there, even if you don't have a demographic of folks that are necessarily prone to the breathing issues or some of those other things. But again, we've talked about this, Andy. Coaches might, facility managers might, folks that
cheerleaders, trainers, everyone.
There's so many more people involved with these decisions. With they go into making these decisions. Andy, I hate to say I told you so. Oh, it doesn't even feel right saying.
Jared Watson hit it,
but it didn't make any sense why they would try to force this. I personally believe that we could have mitigated some of the anger and frustration. Now, granted, I will say this. It takes a lot of leadership to be able to come to a decision like this, knowing it's going to piss a lot of people off. Justin Fields came straight out on Twitter, gave the he's upset,
shaking his
obviously.
Head.
Right?
Shaking my head, right? SMH.
I get it. I get the emotion, but you know what? The emotion, if you can't make the decision based on the emotion, you have to make the decision based on the health and safety and wellness of everyone involved. And I'm sorry, nothing else trumps playing this game.
No, you're right.
Go ahead. And we're going to get to that because there's someone else that spoke out today and sounds to me, this is somebody who over the years, it's somebody everybody likes for the most part. But in my opinion, this person has their head up their ass when they make this ridiculous statement. Andy, I don't know how anyone could compare storming forward with college football and storming the beaches of Normandy.
I think
that talk needs to fucking stop. That's ridiculous.
Why don't you tee up what Lou Holtz?
Football game.
It's about Coach Lou Holtz. He went on Fox News today, and he described how he basically said in so many words, if you have health issues, you shouldn't play. For players who want to play, they should play. They should move forward. And he used storming Normandy as an example that there's risk involved. And then that was the big statement there. I am a huge, huge Irish supporter. I have many family members who went to Notre Dame. So, of course, I'm touched by Holtz because as a fan, I watched 88. And I watched him with Rocket and Ricky Waters and Tony Rice and all those guys. All that to be said, I respectfully disagree with Coach a lot on that statement. That is not the right statement here. In fact, that is not even the close statement here. That is the kind of stuff that
Andy, coming from somebody,
statement.
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt real quick. I'm a person who has risked my life many a times for very stupid and selfish reasons, right? So I know the difference between risking your life for a stupid and selfish reason because maybe you want to play football or maybe because you're just an idiot young kid. I say that with love, and I'm speaking about myself. So I'm speaking with love to my old self. Whatever. You get my point. Anyway, and I've also risked my life for things that were worth risking my life for. Just think about that for a minute. Let's be real about this. Let's not just sit there and flippantly make these comparisons that when you look back on it, you just go, well, that was about as out of touch as you could possibly get. Out of touch and rude and arrogant and
again, Coach Holtz, that was not the right thing to say. And that was the very wrong thing to say. And this discussion with college football over the last 72 hours has been polarizing on social media, has been polarizing to the press. And I have become a big centrist on this topic. I thought the Big Ten, Kevin Warren's only been in the job for 3 or 4 months. And my God, he came out with a schedule and the league came out with a schedule last week. Yeah. And he made the right call pulling the plug today, I think he did. But that is an impossible decision for him. Larry Scott, for others, all these other guys that would make a decision. If the SEC wants to play, I would understand. I don't know if that would be the thing I would do, but I understand. ACC, Big 12, they're all mulling on what to do here. I think playing in the spring now makes the most sense. And I think playing in the spring, I do think there are ways to do it, and you have time to plan it out.
I think that's the point. And you could have been planning it months ago, Andy. That is what drives me up a wall, is if you just make the difficult leadership position from the beginning, from the onset, you begin to mitigate some of these issues with people being pissed off and also being able to plan so that you can execute when the time is right. And that is what is being held up in this situation. The good decisions can't be made if you don't make the first one, and you got to make the first one first.
And to Jared's point, and this is why I agree with, and by the way, for health and safety is number 1, 2, and 3, right? But there's 4, 5, and 6. Forgetting if players want to play at the risk. Everyone in their life, whether you go to the Grove in Oxford, Mississippi, or you walk down Southern California to go to a USC game, or you go to Lincoln, Nebraska, or Ohio State, or you even go down simply what you do here in East Hartford and you go watch the UConn Huskies play. There are tailgaters everywhere. There's alumni people running around. In college football, it's hard to really convey safety in this kind of environment to people when you don't know what's really going around. And then you have the bands and you have the tailgating and stuff. It will be a much better experience in the spring, and it will be the same thing. Now, it's not what I want either. That's why I get it. This is hard.
Yep.
I love Saturday college football.
Yeah.
It is going to be hard, but it is the right call. And that's why I give credit today to what Gene Smith said. I love what Jeff Brom said. I thought all those statements today were very, very appropriate. I did not agree with what Nebraska said. Nebraska is very disappointed, and they're already leaning, sounds like, towards their statement. Here, I'll read what Nebraska said. I did not agree with how Nebraska came out today. In their statement, we are very disappointed in the decision by the Big Ten Conference to postpone the fall football season, as we have been and continue to be ready to play. That sounds like a team and an organization, Jared,
wants to go get their asses waxed in the SEC.
They're going to go down to Tuscaloosa and to Auburn to play.
Yep.
Now, Iowa's also came out, and sounds like Iowa and Nebraska are the two teams that are aligned here. Sounds like everybody else, though, in the Big Ten will march forward. I just know the passion and the emotion in this sport.
Right.
It is the oldest sport in the country. It started just after the Civil War with Rutgers and Princeton. It is the 151st season this year in 2020. 150 was last year. This is the oldest sport in this country. There's a lot of roots. It is one of the rare sports where it touches everyone. Even if you're remote in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, to hear where we are today, it touches everyone. This was an impossible spot. It was the right decision. Gene Smith, another quote, "We stand with the league." Another one from him. "We would have preferred to play, but the medical experts made this decision a reality. We wish we would have more time." I thought Gene Smith, Jeff Brom, Purdue's coach, Boilermaker, you have to go to the medical experts, and you have to do what is responsible. Have to figure out a way to play in the spring now.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to look at this stuff.
Right.
This is not easy. These are hard decisions. And for people who are mad about it, I actually sympathize with it. For players who are disappointed, I feel terribly. I do. Because it's hard. You're young and you want to play this. I was really blown away in the 72 hours by players who want to play. I get it. Once this whole thing, comes down, I think they'll understand this was the right thing to do. It doesn't mean it's the easy thing to do. Doing the right thing to do sometimes is the hardest thing to do.
Facts.
And I think this is one of these decisions. It doesn't. And again, I'm very interested to see what Nebraska does. I do get the feeling the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 are going to try to figure something out. We'll have to see. The Pac-10, I keep calling it Pac-10, tells you how old I am. Pac-12 and Big 10 are going to play in the spring. Sounds like they're going to do whatever it comes to make that happen. I am fascinated to see if these other leagues will join. I think that would be the right thing to do. Because, again, there's all these things around these college campuses that to protect people and to protect health is really the right thing to do. All that to be said, will I miss college football with Purdue and probably Notre Dame more than likely? Oh, it's going to kill me. It sucks. It's hard, but it's the right thing to do.
Andy, I will be happy to watch the Ohio State Buckeyes chase down a national championship in the spring.
Yes,
I'll wait.
You and I are on the same page. You and I are good, right?
I can wait, and eventually we'll get back to that. I'll leave it at that without getting into the rest of it. I get it. I get what you're saying. Maybe I've lost a little bit of patience. Well, I haven't really had any to begin with regarding the idea. Like, look, Andy, you can't even keep. I mean, we're going to get into more of this. You can't even keep, Major League Baseball squared away. What makes you fucking think you're going to keep these college kids squared away and keep everyone safe? Now I will bring up this. Joe Thomas was on a local Cleveland station today, and Joe Thomas talked with everybody's favorite, Ken Carman, about this issue as well. And he brought up a good point, mentioning just the fact that, look, not letting these kids play football isn't going to eliminate their risk of going and getting COVID, right? Because it might increase some of their risks. I understand that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, the Big Ten as an entity is responsible for their sector, for their role within the containment of this COVID-19, right? So the Big Ten, with their role and what they can control, right? You take care of what you can control in your own house. Isn't that what we always talk about? Don't worry about anyone else. Worry about what you can take care of in your own house. The Big Ten did that today. We'll see how everything else plays out. I understand that there are going to be risks involved with that move, but the Big Ten had to do what the Big Ten had to do, and that was the right decision. That's all I've got left.
And there's a lot of hard work to come. The economics for this is going to be devastating. It's going to be bad. It is going to there's going to be jobs lost
across the board, Andy. This country is going to look different in about 12 months. It just is.
It's college football took a huge hit today. I mean, even if they go forward the other three conferences, not having Ohio State, Michigan in late November is going to be tough. But to what I didn't listen to Joe Thomas. He's right. That's the one thing that really struck me in the last 72 hours. And I've already been hearing from, I've watched a lot of the Big Ten Network today. They're going to keep these kids on campus. They're going to make sure they have, and I'm sure all these other schools will do the same. I really do. Yeah. They'll make sure they're safe and secure. That's the ones that hit me. I was like, well, that's really a good point. There probably are some people here who really do need to stay in these campuses and stuff. And again, I'm never going to tell someone how to feel. I was blown away by some of the passion these players have. Yeah, blown away. And whether I disagree with playing or not, I will always respect people's how they feel.
Well, and there's also some good talks, that are coming through. And this, again, there's good things that can come out of any of these tough situations. Right. And the idea of players having a players association. Now, I'll be honest. I don't know that a players association, quote unquote, is going to have the same weight as a union would, right? So maybe that's why people like Dabo Sweeney were okay with it. I thought it was a great idea because they're not going to listen to him anyway. I'm being cynical when I say that, but at the same time, the nuance of the differences there. But still, at the end of the day, that's good stuff if they can turn that into something, right? Whether it be some sort of revenue sharing issue, some way to get money into some of these guys' pockets, considering it's a billion, however many dollar industry that college football is. There's got hundreds of millions, billions, whatever.
No, it does, Jared.
Right? So,
Jared, it does.
And some of these kids, that's the best chance that they're ever going to get at putting money in their pocket because they're not going to go and start in the NFL, and they're sacrificing their bodies. And I get it. Don't tell.
It's hard.
I know the old adage of you get to go to school and you get a degree and you get a full ride and you're treated like a king. I get that. But I think that there's good things that come out of this, players associations, whatever. There's some revenue sharing, something that can come out of it. Obviously, down the road conversation, but keep an eye on it because I think that those conversations are being sparked right now, and otherwise they were not getting the traction that I think that we're starting to see now with this situation.
Of course, last thought on this from me is what the Big Ten saw is I think what we're just alluding to. This sport is so big. I think college football is the biggest sport in this country. I really do. I would argue that with anybody in the world. I've worked way too much in sports to tell you it touches everybody. Mm-hmm. What they're thinking about again is the family, not the even beyond the outside the family. Warren, the commissioner, his wife and his family. His kid plays football for the SEC somewhere. Big Ten commissioner. His kid plays football for the Southeastern Conference. There's all these different people around here. And what they're protecting is people who are alums, tailgaters, fans of these sports. I know it sounds weird. I think they're protecting them as best as they can. And I think they're right. I think they are doing the right thing.
Yep.
Doesn't mean it's the easy thing. That's how I'll leave it. But they're protecting everyone involved. So no Big Ten. We'll see what happens to the ACC, SEC, and Big 12 later on. Pac-12 joins the Big Ten today at 4:30. Okay, now to the Tribe. So, by the way, I would like to say at the end of the last podcast, you heard a little bird chirping, bunt, 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 and my gosh, they obviously heard Cleveland and beyond, because that was one of the fantastic bunt plays and squeeze plays you'll ever see. Sadly, we can't start there. The Indians.
You mean the Browns?
Oh, you knew where I was going. Here we go. So here we go. Oh my God, Jared saw my brain.
And by the way, we didn't talk about this prior.
No, okay, I got it. Here we go. You knew it. I've been rehearsing this speech in my head all day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Did I steal your thunder? And I didn't.
No,
even
I'm
know
ready.
it.
No,
All
I'm ready.
All right.
I was going to tee it up right here.
All right.
The Indians are a fun, likable team. It's a rare occurrence too, where and especially in Cleveland, where we love this team for the past, I'd say 7 years.
Yes.
And it goes beyond the field. Francona, Antonetti, Turnoff. All these guys are very likable people.
Yep.
It's hard not to smile.
Yeah.
I love the Indians. I will always love the Indians, but these 7 years have been very enjoyable. I love it. Now to the key transition. However, if we're being fair and realistic, let's go down the timeline here of Indians moments. Yes, Rajay Davis hit a home run in Game 7. The Indians did lose that game. We had some drone incidents. We've had Trevor Bauer throwing the ball above the center field fence in a Kansas City Royals game. We have had Chief Wahoo. We have had other name incidents where Twitter fights and everything else. Quietly, if you peel back those layers, the Indians have had more of a Browns feeling at times than what we want to probably admit. And here is another example. Sunday night was a wonderful game. The Indians were dead. They were in the water. It was 3-2, top of the 8th, 2 outs. The announcers were going through stats and basically saying the Indians aren't going to fucking get the hit. Carlos Santana, Mr. Walk, gets a walk. And bam, Reyes laces a double. Next thing you know, your action innings. So exciting. DeLeon DeShields, my favorite bunter. He is the Butler of the 80s. Makes a great bunt. J-Ram scores. Helmets flying off. Mike Freeman, who? That's right, Mike Freeman. Bam, single. They win the game.
Beautiful.
Brad Hand's pouring rain down. Great story. Oliver President, mustache, comes out, does the whole thing.
Salt and pepper save, baby.
Charlie Sheen's making tweets about Karen Chachter in the middle of the game.
Yep.
You had a wonderful Sunday night. The country is yours. And before the game, Zach Plesac has an incident. And then afterwards, we have Clevinger. And that's what we're talking about today. The Indians, every time they have positivity, they get these drone moments. Or we have to discuss the team name. Or right now, our owners talking about how we're not going to keep Lindor. Or Bauer's making articles in SI. Or Bauer's throwing the ball over there. By the way, if you see a lot of connections here, wait till my partner talks about Clevinger. So all these different things here. And yet here we are again. Great win. Second place. After we're dead as a doornail getting basically almost swept. We lost 3 out of 4 against Minnesota. We look dead and lifeless until Reyes hits a home run on Tuesday. And yet, what are we going to talk about? Quarantining.
We're going to talk about stupid fucking decisions. That's what we're going to talk about, Andy. We're going to talk about irresponsible, stupid fucking decisions from people that at this point, according to Tito Francona, still don't fucking get it. Right now, right in this very moment, Andy. Clevinger don't get it. And now we could sit here and debate who Tito was talking about. I'm sorry. I'm going off
speculation.
I am being good. But you know what? I don't think I'm speculating when I've seen Plesac come out and make the comments. I've seen the comments. I've seen Plesac take responsibility.
Twice. This is the second time. Social media, and then he had a statement on Monday.
Tito.
So twice.
According to Tito, one of these two has not taken responsibility. Francona, according to Cleveland 19 Sports. I talked to Clevinger and Plesac, but don't want to go into details. They're at different stages in acceptance. I'm sorry. I don't know what stage of acceptance does Clevinger think he's in?
Let's go down.
Who the hell do you think you are? First, I don't like sneaky liars, Andy. I've eliminated sneaky liars from my life. Over and over again.
Clevenger
past 30 plus years. I have recognized when someone is a sneak and you can't trust them.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck how good of a pitcher you are. I don't give a shit. I don't have time for this. He is cut from the same cloth. I didn't know for sure whether he was, but he really is. And I've noticed it a lot this season. He's cut from the same cloth as Trevor Bauer. He's immature. He thinks he knows everything and everyone else knows nothing. He thinks he can do whatever he wants. He still throws temper tantrums when he doesn't like pitch calls, when he doesn't like a call from the ump. He's an immature little asshole at this point. This is somebody who put his team at risk, who didn't let anyone know, who tried to get away with the fact that he was out with
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And left with the team.
Yes, he did.
And it's been mentioned, Cookie Carrasco has leukemia. Oh, what? Fuck Cookie, I guess, right? Fuck him.
Francona, your manager.
Fuck him too. Fuck Tito too. Fuck them all, right?
Your manager.
Fuck your oath. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have a good time and I'm going to go and do whatever I want. Because you know what? I can. Because it doesn't matter how this affects any of you. The people that I see every day, day in and day out, that are doing what they can for me to keep me safe.
So
I don't have time for that, Andy. You said you wanted a bat. You want a bat? I want a bat. We need a bat. The Indians need a bat.
They do.
Anyone want Clevinger? We got enough in this rotation. If Plesac gets it, who wants Clevinger? Get him out. I'm done. I'm done. We'll see if anyone can change my mind on this, but I'm done. Clevinger can go. Bring in a bat. Get rid of him, Bauer, because you know what? Everything that has reminded us of the Browns over these years has been from either one of them. And here we are.
To recap and set the table of what happened. So Plesac's story came out about an hour or two before the first pitch on Sunday night. And Plesac was sent back in a rental car to go back to Cleveland. Later, after the team came back to Cleveland, I think it broke around, I want to say Monday, late afternoon, early evening. It came out about Clevinger. Clevinger was on the team plane. Clevinger was with the team. And if you connect the dots more, we're just alluding, but you can connect the dots. A security guard was the one who reported all this happening. And the security guard, whoever that was hired by MLB, was the one who basically caught Clevinger, possibly Plesac too. And then because of that, that is why what happened. Here's it makes some more quotes too from Francona today. This was just at 4:00 on Tuesday the 11th. This one kind of hurts. We talked about it as a team today. What I care about is making this better so it doesn't happen again. The players will have a lot to say of this. So I'm going to take off Francona's quote here. This is a big moment for Frankie Lindor. This is a big moment for J-Ram. Other guys in this locker room, I think, are going to have the choice here. To what my partner's alluding to here. And I understand it. There's a lot of people. I am very much on. I'm almost done with Clevinger too. Here's what I would leave it as. If I were Antonetti, I would tell the team, have a team vote with Francona as one of the voters. If you guys want us to trade him, we will. If you guys want to embrace him back in and take him back in, that's the way I would leave it. I would want the team to vote. Do you want Clevinger back? If you want Clevinger back, he's yours. If you are done and you guys have lost trust in Sunshine and Sunshine is not bringing a ray of light on this team, then Jared, I would trade him immediately. I would let the team. I really would. I'd let the team vote. The team needs to make a decision because those are the guys who are going to make it. Are going to stay in that locker room. Can you trust him now? And by the way, Clevinger back on July 30th, quote, having that trust in your teammates is a big thing. It's a big thing on the field. If you feel your teammate doesn't trust you off the field, how are you going to feel like he trusts you when you get between the lines, end quote. So to follow up on Clevinger's quote, I think the team needs to take a vote. And if they want him gone, I honestly, even if it's a majority vote, I'd be like, you know what? We're going to get rid of them.
Anything if they can bring the team together, and this is a situation where the team should have a say, I think.
I think the team
when you're talking about the health and wellness of these players, when you're talking about putting Cookie at risk and putting Tito at risk like that. Andy, again, I want to be clear here. I understand that people make dumb decisions in their lives. I have made plenty in my life. There may be a book at some point that lists out some of them. because I find it quite entertaining, at least, only because I survived many of them. Well, all of them, but you know what I mean.
You're here.
My point being is that you have to learn from these lessons. You have to learn from these moments. I cannot believe that we are at a point, after everything it took to get baseball to this point, that, okay, you made a dumb decision. I'm livid about that. But if I'm hearing from Tito that you're not at the level of a different level of acceptance, whoa, are you shitting me? Andy, you've got a quote here from Clevinger from a tweet that he posted on August 7th. So he knew what he was doing.
Yes. And
it's a quote that it pisses me off because I'm about as big a Pearl Jam fan as you're ever going to find. And I guarantee Eddie Vedder would probably kick him in the nuts over this stupid decision. But he took an Eddie Vedder quote here, a song. I knew all the rules, but the rules did not know me.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That's who you see yourself as? Got it. Noted, Clev. Noted.
And that's why I'll go back to
bullshit.
If
complete and utter bullshit.
If Francona thinks this is bad and the team thinks this is bad, then they need to trade him immediately. Because this goes beyond wins and losses. This is safety and health. Yeah. If they don't trust him, then he needs to go. Jared needs to go immediately.
These aren't rules that are meant to curtail your fun. These aren't rules that are meant to be broken. These aren't those types of rules. These aren't rules that shouldn't be there.
Correct.
You know, and which by the way is what Eddie's probably talking about in that.
Oh, correct. And by the way, the majority.
This is rules.
The majority of people are done with Clevinger. Done. They're done. So
I'd pick him up and throw him over center field like Bauer did with the ball.
Clevinger's lucky.
I could throw that far.
Clevinger's lucky. There's no fans in the stands because this would be a home or Roy. He's gonna go. He would have gotten some comments from fans. Again, I would leave it up to the team. I really would. If they don't, and by the way, I would make a quick decision on this, like by tomorrow. Because if they don't want him, they don't trust him, they got to trade him. And by the way, I would call the Kansas City Royals, who need a starter. I would be like, what do you need from Whit Merrifield?
Yeah.
What do you need from him?
It's not a, Yes.
What do you need?
Yes.
You want sunshine for Whit Merrifield?
Yes. It's not a good sign, I don't think. And I've noticed this. You can kind of tell when you see Antonetti quotes when there's more going on behind the scenes. And the same thing with Tito. I think there's some more stuff going on behind the scenes. I think that they might be on that path. I at least hope they are. I can tell Plesac is being out and forward with everything he's saying. Plesac is owning up to it. Plesac knows. I can accept that. That is a man. That is somebody who is taking responsibility for their actions.
Plesac comes off very embarrassed.
No, Paul. We're not sending Paul Flynn on Facebook. Red Sox need some pitching.
By the way, I would
take a good party. Good time to plug bevmax.com. Check them out. Have your booze delivered. Bevmax.com.
By the way, to everybody out there who does not know, there's been a little bit of a storm that hit the East Coast. The Flynn's got a little tougher than I did. Cheshire got it, but boy, did New Canaan got it worse.
Oh, really?
I was without power for 5 days. And let me just tell you something. It is really fucking hot in August without power. It is.
Andy, I asked you why you weren't just going to a hotel.
We're going to do this on the next podcast because we have too much today. But I always want to I hope the Flynn's are doing well because they have been suffering like I have. It has been hell without power. Oh, boy. Hell. Here's some other. So the roster moves today. This is August 11th, Tuesday. Clevinger and Plesac restricted list. Naquin up. He's finally back and being healthy.
Yep, knew that was coming.
And Logan Allen, the left-hander, big. By the way, big opportunity for him.
Yes,
he's going to come up and play. Naquin is an obvious one. Real quickly to go. I want to keep on this, but real quickly, the Zimmer Yu Chang experience is starting to wind down. And I'm wondering, after obviously at some point, Plesac and Clevinger are going to come back, or someone's going to come back.
Right.
I think that Yu Chang's days are probably done, sadly. And I feel for him. So I think he should have gotten more of a chance. Zimmer has not played well in the past week. I think he had a great start. I thought this last week he struggled. He had that misplay in Chicago, and he really has not played as crisply as he did in the first few games of the year. So I'd keep around that. Naquin come back's a big deal. Real quickly, I will turn this on the field quickly. but I want to get back to this stuff. The outfield for the Indians in 2021, Jared, priority one, free agent coming to play the outfield. This cannot, I'm never going to forget this. This can't fly again. Even if Daniel Johnson's ready to go, even if all these other young kids, Jared, this current outfield is no go in 2021. No go. I don't want to see this again.
You don't think they're going to be able to turn it around?
I don't want to see this again.
You don't think Mercado?
His 125 batting average.
I think he can.
I don't want. Oh no!
I mean, they got good enough
We're here to win. We're here to win. I want to win. I don't want to see Oscar Mercado struggling. We have a good team. Bieber, this pitching staff's on fire. Sunshine, even though he's an asshole, he can pitch. This team can pitch. Karinchak's wild thing. This team can pitch. We need a hitter. I don't want to see this outfield anymore. Do you get excited when Mercado's up with the bases loaded? I'll give you some examples from this past week. It's not that great of a deal. It doesn't work out.
I'm just hoping.
Oh, Jared, hope. I don't have time to hope. I want to win, goddammit. I want to win these games. I'm ready for a parade. I want to fucking win. Anyways, good to see Naquin back. This outfield is...
I know. It's brutal. It's brutal because the games drag. There's only so many pitchers' duels I can... and games that it shouldn't be a pitcher's duel. Hey,
look, I love Oscar Mercado from the bench. From the bench.
It's a bummer when things don't work out, you know?
Luplo had a big home run Saturday. Hasn't done a damn thing between. Mike Freeman
that was his first hit of the season, wasn't it? Yeah.
The Luplo Mercado train, I'm ready to get off. I'm ready to get off.
Paul's also saying Joe Charbonneau's available. Wasn't Joe actually? There's news about Joe, by the way, Paul. I'm glad that actually he messaged this. Joe Charbonneau, former Rookie of the Year in 1980 for the Cleveland Indians, had a stroke. He was supposed to sign autographs and had a stroke and couldn't go and do that. He is at home recovering, and I guess when he starts feeling better, he will let fans know and come back out and sign and all that stuff. But yeah, actually, I'm glad that Paul made that comment.
Yeah, I had it on a rundown today.
Did you? I didn't even see it yet. Okay.
Yeah, he had his wife made a social media post talking about him having stroke. I hope everything's back. Yep. Okay, before I stroke out about the outfield, going back to Clevinger and Plesac. So to recap, I will stroke. I was going to go off today about that.
You went off about the outfield more than I went off on Clevinger.
This outfield, it's I can't do it. We're going to get into some more tidbits on this. Again, I think it should be a team thing. I do think this, though, to what Jared's alluding to with Clevinger, is I've seen all this reaction from the fans, too. When it comes to Clevinger, though, make a good, quick, hard decision. I would make it by tomorrow. Because you cannot let this linger. I'm telling you, you can't let this linger. Yeah. Make a decision. I understand about today. Francona's just back in the house. Get through the Cubbies tonight. But tomorrow, a team needs to make a decision. Like, team vote, let's go. In or out. And Francona,
I would just say the more you're waffling on it, the more it sounds like you're trying to try to keep him when you know he doesn't belong.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't waffle for too long on it.
I don't either. Plesac's comments to what Jared's alluding to. There's been nothing from Clevinger so far from what I can see. So Plesac, what did he say? I thought the social media one was the better one. He also gave a comment you can read online that was more of a PR statement, which was also very good. I don't want to tear him down on that. So I thought Plesac come off very likable to what Jared's saying. I agree. On social media, he came out with this earlier this afternoon. Life can throw some crazy things at you, but how you respond is the testament. What you may think is harmless can actually have consequential outcomes. And the lesson learned from this is the most important thing we can do is take care of each other in all caps, putting others first, having character to understand why there's a greater impact if we are selfless. Plesac, I love him from these comments. I agree with everything Jared said. He was wrong. The drive back is a major league player in a rental car from Chicago to Cleveland. and there's someone who's done that drive. It's a good 5 hours. You're going to sit there and you're going to really think about life.
Chicago, depending on traffic, I've done Chicago. It's taken 8 hours.
8 hours. It can be long. Thank God it's a straight shot. But can you imagine it came from Kansas City? Oof. So for all that to be said, that'd be a long trip home. But for all that to be said, Plesac does come off very likable here. Now to Clevinger as the individual. If I were Clevinger, I would really look into your inner person here. You need to say something. You do not look good. Your PR right now is as low as it can get.
Well, maybe Bowers is PR. Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe. And by the way, to what Jared's alluding to, and this is where I'm on the Jared Watson bandwagon was a lot of this because it is frustrating. But he's been cocky on the mound, and he's shown things this year that just doesn't seem like he's coming off as very likable. All that to be said, the team should vote, in my opinion. Have a team vote. Make it quickly. Right. As for Clevinger, he needs to say something. He needs to come out with something, and quickly. Quickly, because he is being torn down.
Andy, I think at this point we're looking at, man. I've said it a million times. When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
There's a lot.
I feel like if it's that much of a struggle for Clevinger to figure this out, then this is going to take some real growing up, and that's going to take a long time. And we don't have time for that right now. Not in this environment, not in this climate, not in this environment.
No,
this is someone who he clearly believes a certain way and thinks a certain way.
He thinks
sayonara.
The way he talks on social media, he's above the team, and that's pure and simple. And his actions said that in Chicago. Timing is everything, though, for the Indians. For those of you who have not looked, we as in fans, did not play or watch on Monday. They do not play on Thursday. They do not play on the following Monday. They can do a 4-man rotation. Plutko goes tonight. They do not need Plesac or Clevinger until Saturday the 22nd. So they have a long run here. Today's the 11th. So the Indians can easily get through this period with either one.
They can get through it, but let's not forget that Clevinger was supposed to start tonight.
Correct. And by the way,
supposed to start and open this series against the Cubs, who beat us in the World Series in 2016. And this was supposed to be a big start. And here we fucking are. Well done, Clev. Good job, bud. Proud of you. Be proud of yourself.
To Mr. Watson's
fucking believable.
And to Mr. Watson's comments, and I'll leave it. You're now razor thin. No injuries. So if Carrasco or Bieber, God forbid, knock on wood, someone gets injured, now your depth is gone.
Can Karinchak throw 6?
Oh my God, I love him. I called that first. That was my shot of the year. Let's go on the field. Sunday's game, around all this craziness with Plesac and Clevinger, was a wonderful game. One of the best games. Reminds me of the Minnesota game last year. That's how great it was. It all started with Jose Ramirez on the 10th. Really, the moment in this game, though, was Santana's walk with 2 outs in the 8th. The Indians were dead in the water, couldn't get hits. It drove you crazy seeing Bieber, who got all, by the way, Bieber's
leaving men on base like crazy.
Crazy. Bieber's getting national attention. They built this as the Bieber versus White Sox game. He is the new superstar. He is Garrett Cole. They're putting everybody nationally is putting on that level. Yeah. Bieber's got national attention now. Which is great. We love it, right? So he comes in, he plays, he has a good game, but they're down 3-2. And by the way, with 2 outs in the 8th, dead in the water. Dead in the water. And you could feel the game turn on Carlos Santana's walk. Reyes, bam. Reyes had a great week. Great week. Huge home run in Cincinnati. Yep. Played well. Reyes is coming around. Yep. That's a great sign for this team.
God,
now
he looks the part too, man.
Oh my God, he
looks the box. He's such a big dude.
Now, I was being tongue-in-cheek humor, but I actually was being somewhat serious. I love bunting. There's not enough bunting in baseball. And I'm so happy to see DeShields what he did in that spot. That's exactly what that team need.
Well, that was a part of what was discussed, I guess, out of the 30 or however many times that they've gone into extra innings so far, that most of the time teams aren't taking advantage of this new rule with the man on second. And I think A-Rod sat there and said, well, that's because, we don't play small ball anymore.
No one
we don't
does.
pay attention to fundamentals.
Hey, by the way, if you're shifting, These guys got to start learning. You just bunt it down third baseline. Just bunt it. I'm telling you, it's a base hit. It is a base hit. They're telling you, we don't think you can handle bunting. And by the way, 99% of the time, they're right. You never see that. They got teams.
I know when I played college ball, NAIA out at Indiana Tech. We spent time learning how to bunt our asses off and learn how to take pitches in the shoulder. That was it. We did beanballs all day because all we thought of was play the small ball, get on base. That's all we thought about.
Yes. So great win. Mike Freeman with a huge hit in that spot. Now to the bottom of the 10th. That was wild. Pouring rain.
Yeah.
The other guy who the
Brad
heat is
Hand
off.
was not happy.
Okay. Let's talk about Brad Hand. So Brad Hand, in fairness, ball was wet. He had a good week up to this. He did have a good week up to this.
Rain made him look bad.
Rain made him look bad. Absolutely. Oliver Perez and his new mustache comes out and gets a save. It's great.
Loved it.
This team has major league all over at times. So, these are characters from movies kind of stuff. It's great. Now, to Hand. I'm going to ask quickly, is anyone concerned about Brad Hand still closing games? As I am. I do think
I still don't understand why they won't just move Karinchak to the closing position.
I think they need to flip him. I really do.
I don't know why they won't.
Karinchak's ready. I'm just telling you, he's ready to go. That guy is ready to roll.
What is the problem? Let me ask you this. What is the problem with having a guy who throws the 8th and the 9th?
I agree.
I know it's not. I understand, but I really would love to know what is the thought process on why can't a guy throw the 8th and the 9th?
The greatest reliever, according to many baseball experts, is Mariano Rivera. And what did he do a lot? Came in the 8th and closed the 9th. Karinchak's ready for this. Telling you. We talked about racing that big double. Saturday, Plesac looked good, and then he went out and partied. Luplo had a big slump. That was Saturday. Friday night, we're going to go through the days of the week here. Savali, that was a strange game. Savali pitched well, but boy, the Indians can't hit, which we're going to get to in a second. Thursday was great. J-Ram went off 13-0. J-Ram had a great game on Thursday. Wednesday, Never Sunshine. We just talked about him. He did pitch well on Wednesday. And then I thought Tuesday was the big game outside of Sunday. The Tribe again was dead in the water. I had no power. I was basically reading the game, and you could tell the Indians in the 6th inning was just hanging on. They somehow scored with an infield single and a bases loaded walk, and then Reyes just in the 8th just tattooed a ball and won that game. Well, Reyes' hit was a huge home run this season.
Andy, what I'm starting to notice too is that even when they're struggling with the hits, they are taking advantage of mistakes. Because we have seen some defensive mistakes that haven't even been called errors. They've been called infield hits and some other stuff that have happened over the past week. This team doesn't quit. So, I mean, they're not hitting like I want them to, but they don't quit. They don't quit. And as long as they don't quit, and they've got that rotation,
scrappy.
They're going to be all right.
It's a scrappy bunch. Fun bunch. A lot of major league personality. The thing I also want to talk about with the Tribe quickly, that Reyes home run is, I'm going to pound this. That is a huge home run in the season and should not be forgotten.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, if he,
they were going to have what you're talking about, they would have had been 6 losses in a row.
I mean, we're going down. I mean, that would have been 5 in a row after that.
They were 5 in a row. I thought they were already at 5.
They were 5-6 going in that Tuesday night game, and they're down 2-0, and they had to basically, infield singles and bases loaded walks.
Yeah,
that Reyes home run really turned that week around. My point is, it's amazing. That's why I do love the game of baseball. The Indians were dead in the water, 5-6 in the 6th inning, looking to be 5-7. And what did we end up this week? 10-7. And tied, the Tigers, which we'll get to in a second, and the Twins ahead, but only 1 game ahead now. The Indians aren't hitting yet. Their pitching's legit, and they're 10-7. Folks, this is the year. They can't fuck around with this. This team has got the pitching. This is a pitching that can win you a World Series. I said it. I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit about Jakes.
It's one of the best. It's not even just one of the best rotations in the league now.
It's historical.
This could be an all-time rotation.
It's historical. Look, let's go through it real quick. By the way, Francona's, I got the stats here. Pitching fantastic. They are number 1 in earned run average, 2.04. I said 2.04. They're almost at 1 as a team.
Yeah, Bieber's ERA doubled after the last game.
And he
went from a 0.8 to like a 0.16.
Yeah, like 1 and change. So quality starts, they have 15. That's amazing. Whip is under 1. That's just amazing. This team's batting average against is 188. They're number one batting average against, earned run average, quality starts, and whip. And by the way, they're not that far off from strikeouts. They're I think they're second. I think the Dodgers are number one. This is a fantastic, built, ready to rock and roll staff.
Yes.
And then they're sitting. Do you want to go through some of these stats? We will real quick. Here we go. The Indians have a combined batting average of 196 right now. And that is not good. That's below the Mendoza line. Their slugging percentage is a cute 300. This is a 300. Just that. The team currently has 59 runs. That's 28th. The Cardinals have only played 5 games, so they're 29th, and I think they're 30th, and the Marlins are 29th, I believe. So the Indians technically are only in 28th in runs because the 2 other teams had COVID-19 issues. Okay, look, I went on my tirade. They've got to make a trade for an outfielder. You cannot win big games.
Well, Andy, I don't know if you know about this, but we've got a guy that we could trade. We do. Look, I'm just telling you. I'm not saying Luke Blow seems like a nice gentleman. Jake Bowers is in Lake County. That's good. I like Mercado. He stinks right now. Okay. We have got to get a bat in this lineup that plays the outfield. Yeah.
Period. This outfield is putrid. Carlos Santana walks. That's all he does. Everyone else is okay, and then our catching situation is a disaster until Perez comes back. We don't have – and Reyes is your DH. So your DH is okay. He's good. Lindor's Lindor. Cesar Hernandez. Can you imagine this team didn't have Hernandez?
He's been consistent.
He's been consistent. And then J-Ram. Those are your 4. Santana
and even J-Ram's had his moments lately where you're hoping that he doesn't, let his head go below water. But he seems to be figuring it out.
And by the way, Lindor's not even hitting. And then you got
I can deal with that at the moment.
Yeah. And Santana walks. That's all.
No, Santana is batting like 100, but has an on-base percentage of like 400. So that tells you everything you need to know about. Right?
That's amazing.
Carlos is on, and he's coming back from down 0-2 counts.
Santana is such a pro. He is such a good bat to watch. Sadly, though, if he has to swing the bat, it's going to be caught. I will say this is for a discussion for different days. We have too much other stuff to talk about. So we haven't even gone to the Browns.
Oh,
the biggest thing that's going on with baseball that I'm seeing is they've got to do something about the shifting. It's like the shot clock in basketball in the late 70s. At some point, you got to tell teams, hey, shoot the ball within 24 seconds. They got to keep the shortstop on the third base side. I just can't. These shifts, the game, it's just taken away from the game. Well, I don't like it.
Why aren't teams smart enough to hit the other way?
Or how about bunt?
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that you can put that in the shot clock category. Andy,
I feel that way. These games.
These are teams that should know better, and they don't. They're not taking advantage of what the other team is giving them.
I know. It's just I was a fan of
another thing. Again, small ball. I would get yelled at. God bless. I remember there was a time where I was told the next 5 hits I had to hit because I'm a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
NAIA, Indiana Tech, hit the left field. Hit the left field. Hit the left field. You hit down the right field, you're gonna have to run laps. What did I do? I jacked one down right field, home run.
Yep.
Guess who had the run?
I mean,
I got yelled at. They didn't give a shit. They didn't give a shit that I hit it opposite way. They wanted me to hit the other way.
No,
that's small ball. That's how we used to do it.
Yes.
I don't get it.
Yes. So quickly before we get to the Browns, Cubbies tonight, Tuesday the 11th, Wednesday, a 2-game homestand, which doesn't matter. There's no homestands anymore. There's no fans. So tomorrow night too. And then they take another day off. Then they're in Detroit, the second place Tigers for 3. Another day off, and then I believe the Buccos, and then back to the Tigers again. The Shields is back. We just talked about that. Christian Arroyo is no longer. That trade did not work out for the Indians. They slipped that trade in right around the Bauer trade. Sometimes trades work, sometimes they don't. Yeah. Hunter Wood and Christian Arroyo are goodbye. So that trade did not work out. We have not had good luck with trades in the Devil Rays. This is the second time now we've kind of gotten skunked on the trade with them. Tristan McKenzie is pitching well. There's some reports about that, so read about him. That's another trade bait piece in case they don't want to get rid of Sunshine. Van Berkelio is out, options out because of COVID-19 issues. Another reason why, even what Sunshine's doing with someone like, if he was, by the way, he's not around, but that's probably another reason why Van Berkelio's out, because you just don't know about life. And then we talked about this, Joe Charbonneau. Hopefully he's doing better and feeling well. All that to be said, the Indians, who usually are more in the background, have been in the foreground since the start of the season, it feels like. They've been a big story, and I've loved all this entertainment, even with only these 4-hit wins, but they are winning. And here we go. The Cubbies. Gosh, Cubbies are hot too. They're hot.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to a good series. I hope the Indians can get the bats rolling. And we've got, some pitchers that are going to get a chance to show themselves here. Andy, I mean, the fact that we're 10-7, struggling at bat right now, this is still, I mean, it's a slow start, but it's a faster start than if we didn't have this rotation. I mean, the fact that they are 10-7 right now is really a testament to that pitching staff that has made that happen. Unbelievable. I love it. And it reminds me of it reminds me of our great bats going up against that rotation in Atlanta all those years ago. And all I ever think about anytime I think about the Indians having a good rotation is, well, Atlanta beat us with a good rotation, so
that's true.
Let's hope the Indians can take advantage as time goes on here and maybe start hitting the ball a little bit too.
Yep. And again, I'll hit it because he deserves it. Reyes had a great week. His home run on Tuesday in Cincinnati and his big hit on Sunday should not be forgotten. Reyes has been key to this year. All right, quickly to the Browns, if there's ever such a oxymoron. Okay, so Baker Mayfield, he opens up on social media this week. Let a lot of y'all get too comfortable. It's about that time. Insert trolls commenting from their couch. That's not me. It's Mayfield in parentheses. So he has announced his season. There's been a lot of back and forth about him this week. Nick Chubb did a press conference actually today. Quote, "I believe in Baker. Excited to show the world who he is." Stefanski actually admitted in a press conference earlier last week that he met with him in Austin right before COVID-19 kind of restrictions and all that stuff kind of exploded. He has been impressed with Baker, and he is all ball. Like you can tell how much he's into him and how much he believes in this. It was great to hear these comments. It's amazing. This has been as we talked about, the quietest summer camp that you can ever. I mean, this is, folks, in a normal year in a podcast, this would be the top shit. There's just no buzz. There's no vibe.
Cool. I don't want one. I don't want no buzz. I don't want no vibe. Don't want it.
There's none on this team. But it's nice to hear some things. The only thing I'll say, it'll be interesting to see when Baker talks. I'm surprised that we haven't seen Baker do his press conference yet, but I'm guessing that's coming. Has to be, because at some point you got to put. I mean, don't we think? I mean, I do think that's odd. I just wanted to state that out. I mean, we've seen Denzel Ward today, J.C. Treader. We've seen, I said Nick Chubb, Hooper, but no Baker. So hopefully we'll see.
Well,
Baker.
I'm wondering if any of that's by design. I mean, the fact that he came out and did his social media post today, that would signal to me that he'll get in front of the camera.
Yeah, I think it's time. Jared, I think it's time. Time to start hearing from number 6.
Yeah.
On Saturday, August 8th, Jarvis Landry, which was great news. That means he's going to be ready to play, is off the physically unable to perform list. That's why I should just call it the pup list, because I can't obviously read out loud on a podcast. After passing his physical and rejoining the active roster. Also, Carl Joseph, he's off there too, and so is Pryor Brown. He's a tight end. And then the bigger story, mark my words, the Browns are sleeping giants, from Adam Furin on Facebook. Let's go Browns. I agree with Adam. I had the same comment 2 weeks ago. I agree. I think it's getting overplayed by people that think, look, none of these teams, this is a fact, none of these teams dealt with COVID-19, okay? The Patriots are losing guys left and right. It's not easy. The bigger story, too, when it comes to people coming off and on rosters, was MJ Stewart. And my partner here talked about this in one of his tweets, I believe. He's a second round pick from Tampa Bay. He's a cornerback. He is on the roster, and that's good. So those are all the positive moves on the roster. Now, on August the 4th, Andrew Billings, who was the backup, he was not the starter. This was going to be Richardson, and it was going to be Ogunjobi, but Andrew Billings is opting out because of COVID-19. Totally get that. Totally understand. You got to figure now that guy we drafted, I believe from Missouri, he's going to be now he's your depth.
Yeah.
So the depth did get dinged here, but again, COVID-19, that's going to happen. And so Billings being out, I don't think is everything, but that's not a small loss, Jared. I mean, that's, Billings was going to play.
Right. Andy, the thing is, though, Billings for us, other players for other teams, look, we're all going to go through these same pains.
Correct.
And it's, it's the same as Major League Baseball. You don't know when something's going to hit. You don't know when something's going to happen. Yep. You know that some people are going to make decisions to take care of themselves. Others are going to be a little bit riskier regarding how they want to do this and how they want to go forward.
Yeah.
So, this is the flavor of this season, brother. It's the flavor of this season. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be confusing at moments. It's going to be nerve-wracking at moments. We still don't know how all this is going to play out. I think that they're pulling off Hard Knocks. I think who's doing? Is it Philly?
Where are they?
LA.
It's LA.
LA. How are they doing? Like, I don't
teams.
even know how they're doing that. Did you? Is the episode tonight or is it? I think it's coming out this week.
I am one.
I don't even know how the hell they're doing that. To tell you,
I'm one of these rare. I'm one of these rare individuals. Unless it's the Browns, I don't watch Hard Knocks. I don't care. I have no interest in that show.
I was a little judgy on the storytelling. I'm not going to lie, but go ahead.
Yeah. Andrew Billings, to what Jared's alluding to, you hope he's good. You hope he feels good. We'll see. And he even said Billings is a nice man. He gave a great quote. You wish him all the best, and you understand. And to what Jared's alluding to, and he's right. This is going to be week to week. I do think you're going to see players throughout the first 4 or 5 weeks opting out too, and that's okay.
I mean, we've already heard about. We've already heard. The rumors about Odell, which Lord knows, there's always a fucking rumor about Odell. But it's going to be like this, Andy.
Yes, and again, that I respect.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride, and enjoy the ride's right. Well, speaking about that, Andrew Berry spoke about Mr. OBJ. He gave a press conference. I believe it was the day after we did our podcast, so this will be August the 4th on a Tuesday.
Right.
Quote: having a player of Odell's stature on the roster. Obviously, he generates a lot of attention, referring to that article that we talked about in the last podcast in the WSJ. Odell is very mindful and has to be conscientious with his words. He said some other things after that. Now, this is what I was alluding to in the last podcast.
That's good. That tells me Barry's on it, right?
Yeah, I love Barry. I love Andrew Barry.
Yes.
This was what I was feeling too. That article, you got to be conscientious of what you say. All that to be said,
right.
This has been tampered out, and I'm happy about that. More from Barry. We feel really good about everything that the league and the NFLPA have agreed upon, and everything that we have done in Cleveland. I would say, in terms of Odell, he has returned, and we're really been focused on working hard. He has been very engaged in everything that we have done in the classroom, and he is really focused on having a great year. So, from my standpoint, I'm now done with the WSJ article.
Yeah,
I still don't think that was the right thing to do.
Right.
But okay, we've stamped this out. This is
like
good.
I said, no big deal, Andy. Like I said, no big deal.
We've stamped this out. Still should have done that article.
Should have done it, but he did. No big deal. Still no big deal. Hey, and Njoku. Barry's happy about him. Yeah. No.
Yes. He communicated well through it. Barry said, end quote, talking about the trade request. Quote, he worked through professionally. We had good communication with his representation, which is, we all know who that, the very famous agent. We think we are in a pretty good place right now. He added some more stuff after that. I give Andrew Barry and Stefanski. I love this. This feels like the Indians.
Well, that felt like a test. That felt like Njoku and Rosenhaus or Rose. What the hell's his name?
Drew Rosenhaus.
We're testing this coaching staff because they know that the Browns are notorious for these new coaching staffs and all this shit. It feels like a little bit of a test, maybe.
Last year at this time, when these kind of things were going on, Kareem Hunt, we love Dorsey. Dorsey had a very famous quote. Duke Johnson, we love him. He hasn't gone yet. Now I'm paraphrasing. That's basically what he meant. It was not wise. Andrew Barry,
right? Andrew Barry is himself conscientious with his words.
Andrew Berry and Stefanski. Look, wins and losses are a different story in September and October, November, December.
Right.
But boy, from the everything that they do, if you don't love this, guys, I'm lost. Love Andrew Berry, love Stefanski.
We
love
are
them.
once again winning the preseason.
We love a good preseason win.
We are winning.
We
no
love a good
preseason games. We are still winning this shit.
The Indians are going to be hitting, and the Browns are gonna the Indians hitting in the offense. I'm gonna get back on the Browns here, but just one more time. The Indians have to make a trade for an outfielder. Okay. Chubb, a rarity, gave a press conference. I thought that was great to see. He talked about, as Jared alluded to in the open, his being Kareem Hunt. I will just hit this really quickly because of time. This is a bigger story than what people are talking about in Cleveland. Chubb and Hunt is a big story. Yes. It is a huge story, and it's not being talked about enough. Keep your eye on that. I think they are both going to have a huge year. Well, and it's going to take the pressure off 6.
Andy, you know how folks judge you by the company you keep. And this is a good thing, I think, for Kareem Hunt.
I do too.
He's been very sincere in wanting to do the right thing going forward, even though he has had his hiccups. But I think, gluing him to the hip of Nick Chubb is a very, very good decision. Now, I don't know whether that was something that was directed by Brown's leadership and staff, but it would not surprise me if they said, hey, you two together, got it? And I think it might have been that way. And here we are right now. Those two working out together, those two getting ready to take on this Browns backfield and really leave no options for defenses. Because I swear to God, Andy, has there been a backfield like this with the Browns ready to go?
And Mac.
There it is.
We have the second coming.
There it is.
And Mac. And it's exciting. And people need to start talking about it more. Watch 85, 86, 87, 88. Watch it.
And some fullbacks.
This team is ready to be lit from a running game. Just telling you. If Conklin's as good as we think he is, the only thing is Wills. We don't know yet. We're going to have to find out. We believe in Alabama and Nick Saban. And hopefully Wills, I think Wills has got a lot of talent. And if Wills can do what we think he can do on left tackle, Browns are going to be a running machine. Treader said some great things. He is a very nice, likable man, too. The Browns are so likable. This is such a new Browns team compared to last year at this time, where even though we loved and we're excited about the Browns, boy, they were cocky and arrogant. This is the exact opposite of Browns so far. Here's some other Brownie bites from out the last couple of days. I thought Denzel Ward talking was good. He talked about in his press conference today, this is August the 11th on a Tuesday, he is learning a new technique and matching up on press coverage. He also mentioned he thought he had a decent season with 19, but needs to do a lot more to prove. Denzel Ward looks like a guy who understands the position he's in. I thought that was a very good. He doesn't say a whole lot, but his words have a lot of meaning. So does Chubb. They don't say a ton, but boy, when they do, you can hear their words.
You trust it. You trust what they're saying.
Very likable. Again, Chubb, Ward, likable guys. Want to root for them. Want to buy their jerseys. Cool stuff. Garrett Gilbert, he was on the COVID-19 list. There was a false positive. Talk about all these things we talked about here with Clevinger and Plesac. This is what we're talking about. So he is negative. He never had it. It was a false positive. So Garrett Gilbert on August 5th on Wednesday was brought back to the team. That's good. Malcolm Pridgeron, I can't pronounce his last name. He opted out for COVID-19. They are thin on guard. They did sign Javon Fair, a guy out of Temple who's from Akron, and then a guy named Michael Dunn who played. What was that league that just folded right before
the XFL?
The XFL. Yeah,
hey, listen, the XFL ain't gone for good. The Rock bought the XFL rights for $15 million.
That's right.
So don't forget about that. Don't count out the XFL.
We are going to start doing podcast. Actually, we'll do this live on person. Do you want to do podcasts every Mondays now at 5:00?
Yeah, we'll try to bounce this over on Mondays. That's fine.
Yeah. So Monday at 5:00, I've been saving a bunch of stuff. We're going to do a Browns preview. It's been hard to do with everything that's been going on. We'll break down some stuff. We may even relive last year, which Jared loves to do. So we'll do that too and do a Browns recap. The final thoughts on these last few. This has been a crazy 72 hours. Again, college football. I'm not surprised. The polarization of how people are standing on this. I'm very centrist. I do agree with what the Big Ten did and the Pac-12 did. but I understand why people are frustrated and hurt. I
Yep.
get it.
Yep.
College football means a lot. It means a lot economically too. It is not an easy decision, but I think for the health and safety reasons, they did the right thing. And, it'll be interesting to see where the ACC, SEC, and Big 12 fall in line. And again, it could go either way. But both the Pac-12 and the Big 10, they both said that they're going to try to play in the spring. I thought Gene Smith gave a wonderful interview today in Big Ten Network. If you haven't had a chance to catch it, I would catch it. I thought that was good. And Jeff Brown also did the right thing today, too, on that kind of stuff. Last but not least, now to our tribe. I think they need to do a team vote with Clevinger. I think it's very, very important they do and talk about this. Jared's frustration, I am also frustrated with him, and it's clearly on social media. Indians fans have had enough of Clevinger right now. He needs to say something. He really does.
EJ Scalota on Facebook recognizes the drink I'm drinking while we do the live show. White Claw. Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. Having a couple of these. Yes, I am. Absolutely. And while I have this, I gotta say it's a shout out to my neighbor. No names, please. But keeping my neighbors in my thoughts and my family's thoughts because my neighbor is very, very ill right now, and they have two young children. And he and I used to trade these White Claw meme jokes back and forth via text for a while, and I'm just hoping he's going to be okay. Hey, don't forget, folks, we are brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at CLE and Beyond, at CLE and Beyond. Shoot us an email, andyandjared@gmail.com. That's JARID, andyandjared@gmail.com. And on Facebook, follow us at facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond. Andy, any last thoughts?
Beat the Cubbies. Start hitting more. Get an outfielder. Big moment for Clevinger. He needs to say something publicly. All that to be said, Sunday's win was great. Don't forget Reyes. He had a great week. And what a busy 72 hours of sports. Very, very busy.
I'm done with Clev. Sorry.
I understand.
I'm done.
I understand.
See ya. See you later. Also, glad Tito's back.
Yes. Oh, great quote. This is a great way to end the show. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Give me a second.
Go ahead.
Give me a second.
Go ahead.
I found a way. I quote, because he is back tonight against the Cubs Tuesday. Quote, I never thought I'd be the person to be taken down by being a tight ass. Love Francona.
I just want to give him a big fucking hug. I really do.
All right. Love it.
He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson. Andy and Jared, Cleveland and Beyond. Everyone take care. Go Tribe.
Love the bunt.
Ain't no laws when you drink claws. That's a fact. Still holds true today. Take care. Bye.